tell me about your efforts so far this year. What are you noticing?
So what I'm noticing is that in spite of all of the misinformation, in spite of the president's greatest attempt to really make people be fearful of this election cycle, what we are seeing is we're seeing an increase in demand that people are intending to vote. That even when you look at North Carolina that just started their absentee ballot process, which is the first state in the nation, they've had over 600 applications for their absentee mail-in voting, as opposed to 4 years ago when there were only 28,000. So that's a significant difference and a significant demand. What we've been seeing in the states that we've been working in, all 11, we're working deeply in 11 states and 15 additional 15 as well, that in those states, people are saying, they're asking us, we're getting phone calls every day around how to vote, how to do their mail-in voting. There are people there is some healthy skepticism around mail-in voting. So there are a lot of people that have also been saying that they're planning to vote, but they're going to vote early.
So when I was at a Trump event the other day, I talked to voters, and every single one at this Trump event told me that they thought mail-in ballots were fraud and the election would be stolen if they were to go on. Are you finding that reaction towards mail-in voting is down party lines, or is there crossover between Democrats and Republicans who don't trust that process?
I mean, I think that there's some concern around mail-in voting. There's a skepticism across the board. One, because particularly African-American voters don't trust mail-in voting, and they don't trust the process. That here you have a sitting president who is creating doubt in it. And so I think that you do see that. I think that you see that across the board. I think that's what the intention of President Trump was to do, that literally that part of what he has been doing is pushing propaganda so he can create this culture of fear. What gives me hope is that I've been seeing people that are saying, regardless of the process, that they're going to vote early, that there are people who are adamant about they're going to do mail-in voting or they're going to vote in person. So, but come heck or high water, they're planning to vote. And so what I see is there is a skepticism on often a lot of conversation around mail-in voting, because people don't understand if the process is, if there's going to be integrity in the process, when you have the highest office of the land that is actually trying to cast doubt. You know, the other piece that is really interesting, though.
Go ahead. I interrupted. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I was going to say people really do trust the post office. That while there are concerns, people have, and I just want to say happy Labor Day to the millions of postal workers today that are continuing to serve us in spite of this, of what is happening right now.
LaTosha, just one quick question, because your organization is on the ground. So many of us are stuck inside. Well, for instance, me in my basement. I'm not talking to as many voters as I would like to normally during an election season. Give me an honest assessment of what you're seeing in terms of enthusiasm to go out to vote between 2016 and 2020, or even 2018 and 2020.
I do think in 2016, it was a different kind of excitement. I think it's different. I don't know if you can compare. It's almost like apples and oranges. That I think what drives people to vote is different. I think what you saw in 2016, there was a tremendous amount of concern in the election. And so you saw, and then when Obama ran, there was a lot of excitement. What I think you see now, people are angry that in spite of there are millions of people who are unemployed right now, you have a government that seems like it is faltering. You've got 100,000, over 160,000 people have died for COVID-19. People are angry, and oftentimes that can push people to vote as well. And so that's what we're seeing on the ground. But we are seeing a lot of energy of people, a lot of organizations and people daily who are saying that they are adamant about voting, and young people in particular.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.